Hey everybody, Chris the old ass retro gamer here, and you're watching Captain Algebra. Remember Kenna, suckers.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. I'm here with my pickups for August of 2020. We're going to start off with the gifts. First, bought something off Retro Mikey. He got a great garage sale score, and this is something I'd wanted for a while, and he gave me a very good price on it, and those are PS Move controllers, because these things have gotten expensive and very hard to find. So he gave me a great deal on those, so I'm excited. Now I can buy all the games for the PSVR, and not just the ones that can only use the controller, so excited for that. And then I bought two versions of Streets of Rage 4. I got the Classic Edition that came in the Genesis case, and then they announced I think the limited edition that came with the statue and everything, so I need to get rid of the Classic Edition. So he wanted it right away when I said that, and so I said, yeah, once it ships and stuff, I'll let you know, and then we can come up with a deal and stuff. And so I just asked if he had anything for trade, and so I traded it for a couple games. Start with the Switch game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So this game I've been wanting for a while, but the problem with Switch games is they never drop in price, pretty much. And that's one thing I really hate about Nintendo. And so this I got for a good price. And it's just a fun beat 'em up and stuff. I like how you can switch characters at any time. I remember when Gaming Off the Grid got this, they really recommended it. So excited to try that, but I should probably finish the first two first. Then got for the Nintendo DS, Mario 64 DS. Don't love Mario 64. I think it's pretty overrated. I know a lot of people love it, but it must just be nostalgia. I don't think it's that good of a game. I never played it when it first came out. I probably didn't play it until I bought it later in high school, and I beat it once all the way through, got all 120 stars, and I've not touched it since. So this one actually has 150 stars, and you can actually play as like Wario, Luigi, and Yoshi and stuff, which is pretty cool. I'm sure it looks better, but graphics really don't matter to me at all. But I just thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, I traded those for that Classic Edition for the Streets of Rage 4. Then I got on Facebook message the other couple weeks ago from a friend of ours that I know through my wife, and they're like, hey, my parents are moving and they're getting rid of our Nintendo and Atari stuff. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah, definitely. They didn't want anything for it. So I ended up getting an NES that is gorgeous. It's in great condition, and I don't know how much they ever played it, but I put a game in and it boots up right away. And the pin's never been replaced. It's amazing. And then the Atari, obviously, and then all the controls and stuff for it, even a light gun for the NES. But then a bunch of games. So a bunch of Atari games. I have to get a special hookup to be able to try the Atari to make sure it works. But then we got a couple NES games. A couple I have, but 3 of them are complete box, which is sweet. First we got Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Comes with a manual, which I didn't have, so that's sweet. Then we've got a complete box Jeopardy 25th edition. These games are like in mint condition. It's amazing how nice these boxes are. Then we've got Paperboy. Did have this game, but I did not have the box or manual. And then we got Mickey Mousecapade. Again, had the game, not the box and manual, so it's pretty awesome that they did that. Just, I cannot believe how good of shape those games are in the box are. It's amazing. So, yeah, it's nothing special when it comes to games, but it's awesome that they did that, and they didn't want to charge me anything. So very cool. So thank you, Vicky and Andrew. I really appreciate that. All right, on to the games that I picked up. First, played Gremlins 2 on the NES about a month ago, and someone said there's actually a Game Boy version of it. So I'm like, well, I got to check that out. So picked this up for $2 off eBay. That was awesome. It's definitely a little different than the NES game. This is a side scroller and stuff, but still seems like a lot of fun. Definitely want to get more into that one. Then I actually went game hunting with Chris Pico, the old ass retro gamer, in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and bought a bunch of stuff. And so you'll see that sprinkled in here and there. And this one's on the PSP, and that's Frantics, a puzzle adventure. So this is just a puzzle game where you've got to solve 3D puzzles and try to beat it as fast as you can. I just got it up. I just got it because it was cheap, and I don't have a lot of PSP games. I did also buy a Metal Gear Solid PSP game, but I should have looked more closely. The game itself, like the UMD was like taped together, and so it's kind of a cracked case. The disc looks fine, it's just the UMD case itself. And and I think it's taped too tightly together so the disc can't spin, so that doesn't work. But I'll find a loose disc, no big deal. Another game I bought while with Pico, One on the PS1. So this is a Rungun Shooter, and I remember seeing this advertised back in GamePro when the PS1 was out, and it always looked really cool, but I never picked it up. And I know Megadan streamed it a while back, and it just looked really cool, so I thought I'd try it out. And I know Chris Pico recommended it, and so far it seems pretty cool. Then I got a couple PS2 games. First, Batman Begins. I got Batman Begins on the GameCube a while back, probably a couple of years now, from Video Games Monthly. It didn't work. They sent me another game replacement, but they didn't send me Batman Begins, and I've always heard it's actually a pretty solid game. And again, they're recommended by Pico, and it seems like a solid beat 'em up, and it has some cutscenes from the movie, which I thought was pretty cool. Even has a free movie ticket for Batman Begins. I don't think that works anymore. Another game I'd wanted for a while, iNinja. So I wanted it on the GameCube, but I'll take the PS2 version. This is just a fun action platformer. You play as a ninja who's supposed to be really small, but he's very angry. His master dies, and you go on this mission. So a lot of different moves you can do. You can run along walls. You can climb up walls. Very, very fun. Seems really cool, and I can't wait to get more into it. Then picked up a couple Wii games, because I'm always looking at Wii games. It's just a solid console. First one, Rayman Raving Rabbids 2. So I messed up. I saw this, I'm like, oh, I love this game. I played the first one, and it's so good, but I was actually thinking of Rabbids Go Home. I was not thinking of Raving Rabbids. So I don't have the original Raving Rabbids, but this is like a party game. The Rabbids games are just funny, and so still happy I picked it up. It was cheap. And then another game I've been wanting for a while because I've heard really good things, Excite Truck. This is a fun racing game where you can do a bunch of tricks. You can use turbo and stuff. You can get power-ups that change the landscape to kind of give you an edge on your competition. And it's just really fun arcade racing action. Again, cheap game, so I definitely picked it up. Then a game on the Xbox that I watched Musty Hobbit stream on Twitch for a while, and it seemed really cool, The Hobbit. So I love The Hobbit. It's such a good series. I love the Lord of the Rings. And this just seemed like a fun adventure game. So I definitely want to get into that. Haven't played it yet. And I don't have a ton of Xbox games, so excited to try that. Next, we'll go into the Xbox 360 games. Again, these are all games I bought while I was in Chicago. First one, Condemned Criminal Origins. So I had Condemned 2. I didn't have the first one, so I wanted to pick that up. So it's kind of cool. You are a detective, and you're in the hunt for a serial killer. And you can use all your like CSI abilities to look for clues and stuff. And then things start going weird in the building you're in where this murder happened, and you think the suspect is there and stuff. So you have to you lose your gun at one point. You have to grab like 2x4s off the wall or pipes and stuff to use the weapons. It seems pretty cool, so definitely want to get more into that. Next one, Wet. So I saw this being played on stream from Lit Gaming, and looks really awesome. And I really love the style of this game. Really has like a grindhouse feel to it, but it's cool because you can slide and then shoot at people and it slows down time, or run along walls or jump and stuff. And when you get close combat, you can use a sword. It just looks very, very cool, and I'd never heard of the game, so excited to try that. Finally, another game I'd wanted for a while, Aliens Colonial Marines. I'd always heard this game got a bad rap, but then Pico said it's because when the game came out, it wasn't exactly like the previews for it, so people were kind of put off. But it seems like a good first-person shooter. It's always fun when you can beat xenomorphs, but it's always like when I play games like this, I'm like, so in the movies, they had a really hard time killing the xenomorphs, but in here, you can just put a couple bullets in them and they die, and you barely have any acid damage, okay, whatever. But it seems cool. I love the cover art on this with the xenomorph head, and then you see the Marines inside of it. Very, very cool. Excited to try that one out. All right, on to the NES games. Got 2 of them. Again, all the stuff that I come up with right now is, again, from Chicago. Batman Returns. So I've got the original Batman on the NES, and I saw this at Midwest Gaming Classic last year, and I'm like, wow, I've never actually seen that game on the NES, but I didn't pick it up. Finally picked it up. This one's actually by Konami, whereas the first one's by Sunsoft, and it's just a very fun beat-em-up. You know, it's got the same characters from the movie and stuff, and I know it's not rated as highly as the first Batman, but this still seems pretty cool, and I'm excited to get into that one. And then one I was really excited to find for such a good price, Mega Man 6. This brings me to just needing Mega Man 5 on the NES, and then I have every single Mega Man game on the NES, which is sweet. So, great game, and you know, it looks beautiful, sounds good. I think but at this point, the Mega Man games were getting a little stale. There's 6 of them on the console, which is crazy to think about. When you think of other games on the NES, I don't think there's ever been 6 of one franchise other than Mega Man. So it's crazy how quickly they pump these out and stuff. So, but still, glad to have it in the collection. It's still a solid game. I just need to get into it a little bit more. Next couple SNES games. First, Super Turrican. So this has been on my radar since I did my, I think, second SNES Top 10 Stage Music collab. Paul Mega Retroman Tessie was in that, and he talked about a soundtrack in this game. And the game looked awesome. Rungun Shooter looked very, very cool. And sure enough, I love it so far from what I've played, so definitely want to play more of it. Then we got Darius Twin, a shooter. I've really gotten into shooters lately, and this one always seemed very fun. It's by Taito. What's weird about this one is the title screen sucks. I don't even know if it says Darius Twin, but it's a very boring title screen, which obviously doesn't matter, but I've heard it's kind of a mediocre shooter. It's not great, but I know Megadan played it, and he said it was pretty fun. So next, we'll go with the Genesis games. First one is a game I had the box and manual for. You remember a couple months ago, I bought the box and manual thinking I had the loose cart, but I was an idiot and I didn't. So Video Games Monthly hooked me up when I told them I needed it, and that's Zombies Ate My Neighbor. So that is complete now, which is awesome because that is an amazing game. On to the new games I got. We got True Lies. So this is actually, we figured out, was Chris Pico's old copy because it went to, I think, Video Games Then and Now. I think that was the name of it. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about getting the game. He goes, I'm pretty sure that's a copy I traded in it because he had the SNES version. But it's a fun run and gun shooter. I have the SNES version as well, but you guys know I love the Genesis lately. Really getting into it because of the Genesis A to Z streams. And so it's like, hey, anytime I can get more Genesis games to stream for that, definitely. So definitely look forward to playing more of that. This game was recommended by Chris Pico. I never even knew it was on the Genesis. But Predator 2, another top-down run-and-gun shooter. You play as Danny Glover's character, and you need to go around saving the hostages before they get killed by drug dealers and the Predator and stuff. It's kind of cool. You're going around killing the druggies and stuff, and you're collecting contraband and stuff. And then every once in a while, you'll see the Predator's laser sight moving slowly across the ground. It's like, holy shit, it's going after hostage. I better save that. So, love the box art for this. That's really sweet. And we got Thunder Force 2. Picked up Thunder Force 3 a while back for the Retro Game Brews High Score Challenge. Loved it. So I'm like, well, I got to get other Thunder Force games. So it's kind of weird. It's a top-down view, and it's kind of like this huge open area. You kind of have to go around killing everything instead of just being like a horizontal shooter like Thunder Force 3 is. But still a really cool game, and excited to add that to the collection. And I picked up Fatal Labyrinth, which is an RPG. It's kind of weird. So you start in this town square, and I tried to go everywhere, and I couldn't go anywhere. Then all of a sudden I pressed start, and I was in a labyrinth and stuff. And it's really weird fighting style. It's because it's not turn-based. It's an action RPG. But it's just, you don't actually press a button to attack. You like run into the enemy, I think, if I remember correctly. It was really weird. And you obviously can't see anything around you. It's a labyrinth and stuff. So as you go, each area gets uncovered. But it seemed kind of cool. And again, another game I can stream for Genesis A to Z. Then last Genesis game I got, Forgotten Worlds. So this is a side-scrolling shooter, and it's pretty cool because you have this like robot with you. And I think, if I remember correctly, B shoots, but then A rotates you and the robot one way, and C rotates the other way, clockwise and counterclockwise, so you can turn around to shoot behind you and like at angles and stuff. So that's pretty cool. You can find shops as you go to increase your hit points or your weapon or the type of droid you've got with you. So that's pretty cool. Again, another Genesis game to stream, and I thought I had heard about it before, and it seemed pretty cool, so definitely glad that I picked that up. Alright, next we're going to go into a little bit more modern games. First, got a bunch of Wii U games when I was hunting with Chris Pico. First, we got Darksiders II. Did pick up on the PS4 about a month or two ago, so we're not going to show gameplay of that. Fun game. Got a couple Lego games first. Lego Jurassic World. I love this. I've only played a little bit, but it's so cool. It just gave me flashbacks of watching the original movie, when they're transferring the raptors and stuff, and they're the guys yelling, shoot it! Shoot it! And of course, in the movie, it's dangerous, it's got him by the arm, but in this one, he's holding a hot dog. And so the raptor steals a hot dog, and the guy sits up like he's fine and stuff. It's pretty funny. We got Lego Marvel Avengers. Can't go wrong with the Lego games. And this one I've been wanting for a while, so saw it for cheap, picked it up. It's obviously a great Lego game. It's really cool as a start, with all the Avengers coming in. You see Hulk, you see Cap, you see Iron Man, and you see Thor and stuff. And you've got Hawkeye and Black Widow. It's really cool. So just another Lego game I gotta play. We got Wonderful 101. Another game I've been wanting for a while. I know the remaster, the remake just came out on the Switch and PS4, but I'm always about getting original. Plus, I'm pretty sure I like the Wii U more than the Switch. This is just a fun little beat 'em up. You can unite with your other 100 heroes and stuff, and to form like a sword to chop through stuff, or a circle to make your giant fist and stuff, and that's pretty cool. It doesn't look that great. I thought it kind of looked a little kiddish. I didn't know what it looked like, but still, that doesn't really matter to me in the end. And then finally, The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. So I just saw Bandana Gamer pick this up, and he saw some gameplay of it, and it looked really, really cool. And what's cool about it is, like, all these different choices change things for you. So, like, when you're traveling, you can choose, like, the highways or back roads and stuff, and it tells you, okay, if you've got a high probability of finding stuff and what probability you have of breaking down and stuff. And obviously, the back roads take more gas, but you have a high probability of finding more stuff. And so that's really interesting, and I thought it was really cool. I got it for a good price. I know he didn't recommend it for too high of a price, but I don't know, it's just really cool. So yeah, very cool game. Excited to get into it. Next we'll go with our Switch games. So we obviously already talked about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. First we'll talk about a couple games I got from Super Rare Games. We got Graceful Explosion Machine. This is a fun shooter. It goes in phases, and basically it's just the levels wrap around so you can keep traveling to kill everything, but you have to kill everything. You've got your normal blaster weapon. It can overheat, so you gotta watch it, but then you also have a blade that swings around you for close range enemies. You get a laser beam that kind of like snipes people from afar. That's really powerful, and you get homing mission you shoot out. But for those three items, to use them, it takes power, and you have to collect. When you kill an enemy, they release these bits that recharge that power. So you got to be careful. You can't be using all the powerful weapons all the time. But very, very fun game. I was definitely glad I picked that one up. But the reason I picked that one up is because I was looking for this game, Old School Musical. So this is a rhythm-based game, and what really drew me to this is it actually has levels that are based on old like NES or 8-bit and 16-bit games. Like there's a TMNT level, there's a Mega Man level, there's a Metal Gear level, there's a Outrun level. It's so cool. There's a level later on that has the Tetris music. It's just really cool. One thing is, I don't think the music's that great. Like when I was playing the Mega Man level, I thought the music would remind me more of Mega Man and etc. But it's all right. They've got 3 modes: easy, normal, and expert. Easy and normal are very, very easy for the most part. Normal is a little bit tougher towards the end, but not bad at all. But expert can be pretty tricky. So I'll show you right now the difference between 2 tracks that are normal and expert. It gives you some replayability, and then there's some stuff you actually unlock after you beat the game. So if you like rhythm games, I definitely suggest that. And then the final one was a game that I saw from Your Player 2, and it looked very cool, and that's Gone Home. This is a walking simulator. It reminds me a lot of What Remains of Edith Finch. This one's much shorter, but basically you've studied a year abroad and you're going home, but your family has moved into your, I think, uncle's old house, and it's this huge like mansion, but no one's home, and you get home at like 1 in the morning. There's a note on the door from your sister saying she's gone. She hopes you see you again, but she doesn't want her parents to know that she ran off. And the whole thing is about basically uncovering what happened, why your sister's not there. So it's very surprising. It has a very creepy vibe, but it's not creepy at all. There's no jump scares or anything like that. So it was interesting because I was playing and I was like kind of nervous, but then the more you play, it's like, okay, I'm just uncovering what's going on with my sister and stuff. Very short game. I think I beat it in a couple hours, if that. But still, if you like walking simulators like Edith Finch, it's definitely worth a playthrough. All right, as usual, the final, we got our PS4 games. First one, we got La Mulana 1 and 2, the Hidden Treasure Edition. So I saw this in a pickup video from 8-Bit Glitch. I'm like, I need to have it. It's from, I thought it was NIS America. Yep. So their games always seem really good, and they have awesome collector's edition. I love the one for Liar Princess and the Blind Prince that came with a fairy tale book. This one actually comes with a puzzle, which is really cool. And when I was opening this up, my older daughter Sophie was there, and I told her it was a puzzle. She's like, "Oh, can we do it?" Like, "Oh, that's cute." Puzzle's probably a little complex for her right now because it's a 100-piece puzzle, but someday down the line we'll do that together. It's got a soundtrack. It's got an art book. It's got a really cool box that it comes in. But it's a puzzle platformer. Haven't played it a ton yet, but like I said, from the little bit that I saw 8-Bit Glitch talk about it seemed like a very, very fun game. Next, we'll go with the game that I actually picked up while I was with Pico. We went to GameStop to see what they had, and this is Children of Morta. So this is like an adventure game, and I'd heard about it. It seemed cool, and it's basically this family that goes on an adventure to stop the corruption that's spreading through the land, and obviously you learn new moves and stuff like that, and it just seemed pretty cool. So definitely looking forward to getting into that a little bit more. Then a game that was recommended from Retro Mikey, Daymare 1998. He was streaming it, I had heard about it, and he recommended it, so I was like, all right, I'll grab it, and I got it for a good price off Amazon. So this is just a callback to the old 90s survival horror games, and in fact, it even has a mode where it plays more like those games, which really was a drawback for me. And Mikey told me about this when he was streaming it. Like, if you can get used to the reloading mechanic, you'll be fine. But I thought the reloading mechanic was really dumb. In the old survival horror games like Resident Evil, like the reloading is not difficult. This one just seemed really dumb, and I don't even know if I fully understood it because I just briefly played it when I first got it. So then when I got the screen cap for the game, I did play the other mode there. It's more modern, so it's basically like when you're pointing the gun and you press square and it reloads. I'm like, yep, that's the way they should do it. I understand it's a callback for the old 90s survival horror games, but you could have done that in other ways than having a stupid reloading mechanic. But once I played the normal way, it seemed like a lot more fun. And then we've got Closer to the Sun. This was a game I saw a limited run was selling, but then I looked it up and I saw that I could get it elsewhere, and I probably wouldn't have had to wait so long for it. So this, you are in 1897. The Helios is this big ship, and your sister went to work on it to try and come up with these huge technological advances, and you get a letter from her and saying that she needs you aboard, and you get there and you don't see anybody, and this is a huge ship. And you get into the actual ship, and there's luggage all over the place. On the door, it says quarantine. You're like, what is going on? So you finally get communication with your sister, and she's like, I didn't contact you. And so you figure out what's going on. Gives me a very, Bioshock feel. It's got the same, Art Deco style to it that Bioshock had. So definitely looking forward to getting into that a little bit more. Another game that I saw on Limited Run's website that I saw I could get elsewhere, Deliver Us the Moon. And this is a very fun game. It's a first-person / third-person, depending on where you are. But basically, the Earth was running out of energy supply, and they found a way to get stuff from the moon. And so they have a lab on the moon that shoots the energy to Earth. But one day it just went black, and no one figured out why. And they could never get in contact with them again. So finally, after 5 years, you've got a rocket ship ready to go, and they send you up there to figure out what happened. And so when you've got gravity, it's basically third person, but then when you're in zero gravity, it becomes first person. So it's cool. You gotta watch out for oxygen tanks so you don't run out of oxygen and stuff. And I just really like its vibe. This was a game that when I first put it in and I was getting screen capped, I couldn't put it down. I wanted to keep playing it, so might have to play through that one soon. And final game was a game I've wanted for a long time. I couldn't wait till it came out. Cat Quest 2. So this is actually a possum pack, so it's got Cat Quest and Cat Quest 2. I did not realize that when I bought it. I already have Cat Quest, but no big deal. But Cat Quest 2 plays just like Cat Quest, except this is actually a co-op game. So basically, the cats and the dogs have fought for years They used to work together, and so now you are brought back as the cat and the dog to fight the evil that's in the land now. And it's cool as if you're playing on your own, you can switch back and forth with the cat and the dog. It's got RPG elements. It's an action RPG, and so you can get different weapons, different clothes that give you different abilities and stuff, and different special moves. And then as you go, you level up and stuff. You can level up your armor, you can level up your weapons and stuff like that, which is really cool. And what I've always liked about it is it shows you basically when the enemies are attacking. I mean, that doesn't make it super easy. You can still screw up, like if you're attacking too much and they'll get a hit on you, but it shows you like a red ring. And when it fills up in red, they're going to attack. It shows you their special moves and stuff. And I don't know, it's a simple, fun action RPG. I love cats, so that's what drew it to me, and now it's cool that it has dogs in it too. And it's just a solid game. So if you enjoy action RPGs, you like animals, pick up this Possum Pack, because like I said, it's got Cat Quest 1 and 2 on it. They're both great games. I'm actually playing through Cat Quest 2 right now and loving it. It's an amazing game. So there you go. That's what I picked up in the month of August. Some great gifts, some great deals I got with Retro Mikey and stuff, and just a lot of good games. So thanks to Pico for having me out in Chicago for a day to game hunt. That's always fun, but I always spend way too much money. But it was a good time. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra signing off.